welcome to the apiary. Today the ambient temperature is 6 degrees and we're doing our winter checks. I have my bee suit on, I have my smoker ready and my hive tool. Winter checks are important. They're important for 3 reasons. 1, you're going regularly to your beehives to check there's no damage from intruders, if the hive's been knocked askew. Secondly, you'll be looking at the entrance to make sure it's clear of any dead bee or debris. If you have mouse guards on, now is the time really to take those off. Thirdly, you're looking to ensure that your bees have sufficient stores through to the next visit. Typically, overwintered, a beehive will need 20 kilograms roughly of stores. By hefting at the beginning the autumn, October, you'll know how heavy your hive is. And the stores on top, you will notice the difference each week you do it. Hefting is simply a term whereby you lift up and measure the stores roughly within the hive. There's 3 ways to do it. Firstly, you can have a digital floor, which is very expensive and takes the fun out of it really. Secondly, you can have a luggage or digital scales. You put 2 screws at the back of the hive floor, you attach your digital scale and pivot and lift that side and then replicate it on the other side. Add the 2 sums together and you'll get the weight of your stores. Thirdly is manual, and this is what I'm going to show you today. So we're going to go round the back of the hive and just place your hand under the floor and gently tilt the hive, lift forwards just a couple of inches and feel the weight and gently place down. From your hive apiary notes, you'll note what you thought the weight was roughly, and you'll know whether you need to actually put any fondant, baker's fondant in, or sugar cake. Now to do that, this one is a bit light from the last time, so what I have handy nearby, I've got my smoker, I've got my eek, and I've got my patty of baker's fondant measured out. Going into the hive at this time of year, you have to be smooth and efficient. It's better to go in and reduce the hive temperature for a minimal period to ensure they've got feed, rather than to leave them and they don't have sufficient feed and therefore the colony perishes. So hefting, I've hefted, it's light, I'm going to go into the colony. So the first thing I do is remove the hive we place on the floor. I'm then going to lift the crown board off. There's 2 ways you can do this. If it's a small colony and the stores are light, you're going to want to put the fondant close to the cluster. Therefore, you put the fondant on top of the frames. You can, if it's a bigger colony, put the fondant onto the crown board where there are holes. The reason I'm not doing that is if it's a small colony, it means the bees have to travel to get the fondant. It's cold, and also above the crown board, the fondant delicresces, it goes soggy. So you really don't want to do that, as where if it's in contact with the frames, the bees will access immediately. So crown board's there, I'm going to lift it with my hive tool and inspect. You can see there's small colony. The baker's fondant in this case is in grease-proof paper. It can be in a takeaway tub. I place over the cluster. So it is a sunny day, the bees have just come out to greet me a little bit, and I'll just give them a slight smoke. I've placed the crown board back on top, and now I'm going to replace the roof. Ensuring everything is lined up, and then replace any stone or brick that you have on top.